Let's make pretzel bites today. I have all my equipment and mise en place ready to go for my dough, so let's get started. First, I'm going to add some flour to a bowl, some sugar, yeast, salt. Mix that up. Next, a combination of milk and water, and oil and butter. You want to make sure the butter is melted. Mix that together until it forms a shaggy dough. It might take some time, so be patient. You want the dough to come together and for there to be no loose flour at the bottom. Next, we're going to lightly flour our surface and knead our dough. You don't want the dough sticking to your hands like this. What I usually do is leave a pile of flour on the side, and I swipe some flour down on my work surface whenever I need it. We want to flour our hands as well. To knead the dough, you push, turn, and fold. This will develop gluten and make our pretzels nice and chewy. As you knead the dough, it's going to change from a craggly appearance to a smoother appearance. You want to add flour if it's leaving residue on your hands, but you still want the dough to stay very soft. It should be soft and slightly tacky, but it shouldn't leave a bunch of pieces of dough on your hands. Knead the dough for about 5 minutes until it looks smooth, like this. Next, you're going to put it into a greased bag. Just lightly grease the bag before placing the dough inside. You want to be sure to take the air out of the bag so the dough has room to expand. Next, you can refrigerate it overnight or leave it on the counter for a couple hours. To clean the counters, take the excess flour off and then scrub with your sponge before drying off to get rid of all the flour residue. Once your dough is doubled in size, we're ready to bake it. We need a baking soda solution to make our pretzels golden brown. So I need a little bit of baking soda and some warm water. We also need to line a baking sheet with parchment paper and spray it. Now for our dough. We're going to roll this into ropes. But first, we need to cut it into 4 equal pieces. Just do the best you can. For each piece of dough, we're going to roll it into a rope that's about 2 feet long. It doesn't have to be perfect. Then you're going to cut it into bite-sized pieces. Place each piece of dough into your baking soda and water solution. Then just mix it up with a slotted spoon and place them on the baking sheet. It doesn't have to be in a perfect order, you just don't want them touching each other. We're going to repeat that with all of our remaining dough. Separate your pretzel bites before placing them in the oven so they're not touching. We want lots of hot air circulating between each pretzel bite. Bake them for about 10 minutes until they're golden brown. Use a spatula to transfer them to a bowl or a couple of bowls if you plan to do 2 different flavors. Pour melted butter over your pretzels. If you're doing 2 different types, you put half the butter on each bowl. Toss the pretzels in the melted butter so the toppings will stick. You can coat them with salt or cinnamon sugar. Give those a stir so the topping coats each pretzel, then just serve them up. And there you have it, super easy pretzel bites that taste just like the ones from the mall.